guys, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to talk about subject called as mechanical technology, and in that we are going to talk about metal cutting, EAC question, previous year engineering service questions, and these are important from your RTO AMVI examination point of view. So let's get started. Now the first question. Assertion. Non-ferrous material are best machined with diamond tools. Reason. Diamond tools are suitable for high-speed machining. And the codes are both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true but R is false. A is false but R is true. Here you can see here the reason diamond tools are suitable for high-speed machining. So basically, here the correct answer is B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Individually, this statement and this statement both are true, right? So basically, non-ferrous material are best machined with diamond tools. Remember, guys, for non-ferrous material, diamond tools are used, and for diamond tools are suitable for high-speed machining also. So this was asked in EAC 1995, very important from your RTO examination point of view, right? So correct answer is B. Now the next question. Assertion. A chip breaker is employed to improve the machinability of brass. And reason. A chip breaker facilitates the curling and breakage of long continuous chips. Asked in EAC 1995, same year, right? So here are the given codes, and the correct answer is D. A is false but R is true, right? So reason. Chip breaker facilitates the curling and breakage of long continuous chips. So yes, basically chip breaker is used for curling and breakage of long continuous chips in various operations. And the assertion is a chip breaker is employed to improve machinability of brass. This is totally wrong answer. Wrong statement, because chip breaker can be used anywhere, right, to cut off the extra chip, but not specifically for brass material only, right? So here the correct answer is D, right? Now the third question. Angle between the face and flank of a single point cutting tool is known as. So the correct answer here is lip angle, right? See, as you can see here, this is a single point cutting tool, right? As you can see here, this is single point cutting tool, right? This is the face, this is the face, this is the flank, this is the flank, and this angle is a lip angle, lip angle. So here the correct answer is C, lip angle. The angle between the face and the flank of the single point cutting tool is lip angle, C. Now the next question. Single point thread cutting tool should ideally have. So guys, this question is a mysterious one, asked in EAC 1995. Some books say that it is a positive rake angle, right? Some books say it is a zero rake angle. So for this question, here I think the correct answer is zero rake angle, right? Zero rake angle. This is a zero rake angle. This is a zero rake angle. Single point. Also zero rake angle is used for machining brass, right? Brass. So the correct answer is A. Consider the following statement about nose radius, right? What is nose radius? It is on the single point cutting tool. As you can see here, this area right here is a nose radius, right? Nose radius. So statements are: it improves tool life, it reduces cutting force, it improves surface finish. Which of these statements are correct, right? So here the answer is this. C, 1 and 3 are correct. It improves tool life, right? Nose radius improves tool life, it improves the surface finish, right? But it doesn't reduce the cutting force, right? So the correct answer here is C, 1 and 3. The straight grades of cemented carbide cutting tool material contains. The straight grades of cemented carbide cutting tool material contains. Option are tungsten carbide only, tungsten carbide and titanium carbide, tungsten carbide and cobalt, tungsten carbide and coal carbide. Asked in ESC 1995. Here the correct answer would be answer C, tungsten carbide and cobalt. So straight grade of cemented carbide cutting tool material contains tungsten carbide and cobalt, right? Now the next question, crater wear is predominant in. So as you can see, options are carbon steel tool, tungsten carbide tools, high speed steel tools, and D, ceramic tools. Here the correct answer is crater wear is predominant in tungsten carbide tools. So basically, as you can see here, this is a tungsten carbide tool, right? And because interference temperature is high, then the carbide disintegrates. This is the reason why tungsten carbide tool has a crater wear which is predominant, right? Because when the interface temperature is high, then the carbide disintegrate like this. Carbide are disintegrating and forming, right? This is a carbide which is disintegrating, right? And carbon diffuses to softer matrix of machine part. This phenomena reduces the strength of the tool after some time. So if it decreases the strength of the tool, crater wear takes place, right? So correct answer is B. Now the next question, consider the following work material, right? Titanium, mild steel, stainless steel, grey cast iron. The correct sequence of these material in terms of increasing order of difficulty in machining is, right? This is the increasing order of the difficulty. So as you can see here, so first will be your grey cast iron. Grey cast iron. Second is your mild steel. Mild steel. Hardest to machine is grey cast iron. Then second is your mild steel. Third is your stainless steel, right? Stainless steel. And fourth is titanium. So grey cast iron, increasing order of difficulty, right? Increasing order of difficulty. So here the correct answer would be C, that is 2431, right? Grey cast iron are basically brittle in nature. Titanium are high strength metal. Stainless steel are alloyed steel. So strength more than mild steel, right? What if the question asked like decreasing order of difficulty? Then it would be this answer, A, 4, 4, 2, 3 and 1. So guys, both ways question can be asked. Here it is saying increasing order of difficulty. So grey cast iron is easy to machine, then mild steel, then stainless steel, and then titanium, right? Moving on to the next question. So here you can see grey cast iron are brittle in nature, titanium are high strength metal, stainless steel are alloyed steel, so strength is more than mild steel, right? Ninth question, the primary tool force used in calculating the total power consumption in machining is. So primary tool force, here the correct answer is tangential force. As you can see, this is basically your workpiece. This is your workpiece, right? And this is your tool. So what will you do is basically you will force this tool onto the workpiece, right? And during machining it will travel along the axial direction. So it is an axial force, right? Along the axis it will be having axial force, but as soon as you reach your workpiece material, so workpiece material is rotating at high speed. So at high speed basically it will push away the tool. So you have to put in extra force to have workpiece and tool contact, and that is your tangential force. So that's your tangential force. So tangential force is a primary tool force which is used in calculating power consumption. Answer is B. Now next question, right? So tangential force, because power consumption is Fc into V, cutting force into tool velocity, right? Next question, the effects of setting a boring tool above a center height leads to N. So as you can see, this is a workpiece, this is a boring tool, right? So here the correct answer would be C, decrease in the effective rake angle and increase in the effective clearance angle. So remember guys, this is also a very important question asked in ESE 1995. So here the correct answer would be decrease in the effective rake angle and increase in the effective clearance angle. As you can see here, above center height the rake angle gets decreased and increase in the clearance angle, right? And this is your back rake angle, this is your front relief angle, right? So the next question, assertion, up milling or climb milling is commonly used for machining, casting and forging. Reason, up milling can be done on universal milling machine. So here are the options, right? So here the correct answer would be D. A is false but R is true, right? So up milling and climb milling is commonly used for machining, casting and forging. So it is basically totally wrong statement. Up milling is not used for machining, casting or forging operation, right? But the second statement, that is reason, up milling can be done on universal milling. Obviously, so up milling is done on universal milling machine. This is a correct statement, right? So R is true statement. As you can see, this is conventional milling, up milling, and this is climb milling, that is down milling. So in up milling, basically, the workpiece direction is this and the tool direction is this. So this is the tool opposite direction, right? But in climb milling or down milling, the workpiece direction is this, also the tool direction is this, right? So same direction, as you can see. So backlash is there. CNC milling machine requires less power in feeding. Also in up milling, also in down milling. So what happens in down milling? Material removal at the start is high, right? High material removal, and at the end of the process it is very low, right? So smooth surface finish is obtained as compared to up milling process, right? So the next question, in milling operation, two side milling cutters are mounted with a desired distance between them so that both sides of workpiece can be milled simultaneously. This setup is called as, so guys, it is all the correct answer here is gang milling. So as you can see here, gang milling, two grinding wheels are mounted, right? Two milling cutters are mounted on the same wheel. So in gang milling, basically more than two also can be mounted to machine the workpiece or to mill the workpiece simultaneously. So here the correct answer is gang milling. Now next question, in grinding wheel A60, G7, B23. So here this is the grinding wheel type, and so here it is asking B stands for. So here, as you can see, the correct answer is A, resonant bond. So this is bond type. B is a resonant bond, R is a rubber bond, E is a select bond, S is a silicate bond. So remember guys, B is a racinoid bond, right? And rubber bond is R for rubber bond, right? S for silicate bond, right? So here the correct answer would be A. Very important guys, asked in ESE 1995. Now the next question, soft material cannot be economically grounded due to. So it is basically asking about your grinding operation. Why the soft material cannot be grind? Because there is a frequent wheel clogging, right? In grinding wheel, the material gets stick, soft material gets stick to the besides cutter it gets sticks, and that's why it is clogged wheel, and we have to refresh that wheel regular intervals. That's why it cannot be economically grounded, right? Soft material, frequent wheel clogging. Now the next question, in mechanical shaper the length of the stroke is increased by. So here the correct answer would be A, increasing the center distance of bowl gear and crank pin. As you can see here, this is a bowl gear, and this is a crank pin. So as we increase this center distance, right, so the distance of this shaper changes, right? So here the correct answer would be to increase in mechanical shaper the length of the stroke is increased by increasing the center distance of a bowl gear and crank pin. The correct answer is A, asked in ESE 1995. Now the next question, which of the following indicates better machinability, right? One is smaller shear angle, higher cutting forces, longer tool life, better surface finish. Here the correct answer is D, right? The correct answer is D. Correct answer is D, that is 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Better longer life, better surface finish. Which of the following indicates better machinability? So machinability is basically indicated by better tool life, better surface finish and longer tool life. As you can see, good machinability indicates good surface finish, right? So fourth is obviously a right answer, good machinability. And long tool life, that is the property of good machinability, right? So the correct answer is D, asked in 1996. Now the next question, this is the last question guys, very important question, can be asked in your examination, ESC 1996. Specific energy requirement in grinding process are more than those in turning for same metal removal rate because of. So the options are a specific pressure between wheel and the work being high, size effect of the larger contact areas between the wheel and the work, high cutting velocities, high heat produced during grinding. Here the correct answer is D, answer D, high heat produced during grinding. So as you all know that a grinding process is very inefficient one compared to conventional metal cutting, right? So specific energy for grinding, so the specific, as if you calculate the specific energy for grinding, it comes to be 50 joule mmq, right? And a specific energy for other methods, right? It is specific energy is basically 2 to 5 joule per mmq. So as you can see here, the specific energy for grinding is more, right? A large number of cutting edges are involved in cutting. This results in large contact area between work and tool, right? Wheel and work. So here the correct answer would be high heat produced during the grinding. So thank you guys for listening in, and I hope you are able to solve these questions. And please subscribe to my channel, and I'll bring more videos like this about other subjects. So thank you guys for listening in.